So let us start with the Java language keywords. Here is a list that shows that various keywords available in Java language. And these keywords are, you cannot use these keywords for your variables. I cannot have a variable named after these keywords. So that's a key thing. Let me read out these keywords: abstract, continue, for, new, switch, asset, default, go to, package, synchronized, boolean, do, if, private, this, break, double, implements, protected, throw, break, sorry, throw, byte, else, import, public, throws, case, enum, instance of, return, transient, catch, extends, int, short, try, char, final, interface, static, void, class, finally, long, strict FP, volatile, class, finally, sorry, I'm repeating this, const, float, native, super, while. And there is some legends are used here. If you see star, the go-to one is never used. It is a keyword, but it is not used. There are some of them.
What if you happen to name it like while 3? Is that allowed?
That's allowed.
Okay,
That's allowed. Sure. Yeah, that's allowed. So we can pretty much look at that. See, when I do while, it's now this is fine.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. And for us, that advantage when you use Eclipse is that it shows that error immediately. When I say private string, maybe say suppose I'll try to use double. See here, it shows a red and says invalid variable declarator. Probably the message could have been a better one, but it shows that error. So I had to use something else. Now we looked at the Java keywords. Let us look at how you can declare your variables. There are different type of variables in Java. To start with, instance variables. Instance variables is something that you declare at the class level. And for every object, if I say I declared as private string message. Now if I say, if I create an object for this, hello world HW equal to, see, the way we create an object for any class is we use an operator called a new. New is a keyword. New is pretty much it should be, what is it? Yeah, it is here. So new is a, so we use new keyword to create an object. We will learn more about class and object, and it will take a couple of weeks for us to completely to discuss, so don't worry if something is confusing. But Java is an object-oriented language where you always have a class and then you create objects for it. There is some specific scenarios where we can restrict how objects are created, but For now, this is how you can create, I created an object for it, and suppose if I write a method public, say string, say hello, and this method, this is the method signature. When I write a method, this is called, the first keyword is called access specifier. It could be public, private, or protected, or you can leave you can actually leave blank and in that particular place, and that is called default. Okay, and the second parameter is called return type. This is what this particular method will return, and this is the method name. Method can take parameters as well, and right now I don't have any parameters. Or let me introduce a parameter as well. And what I will do is I'll store this into a variable. I typed, just look at this one. There are a few shortcuts. I just did SYSO and pressed control space. Hold control and then press space, and it completes the line. Even for okay, there's a help for auto completion. Let me run this, and there is a first hello world, and there is a reason you are getting two statements. There is one directly here, and the other one is coming from here. So I'm talking about the variables, and the variables are instance type, class type, local variables, and parameters. Now in this particular method, if I look at this string name, and I'm passing from here, I have here, see here, I'm passing the name, or maybe for simplicity let me declare that into a variable name. Okay, and let me pass this variable. So what I'm doing is I have a variable here within here, and I'm passing that variable to this method, say hello. So in this method, if I look at say hello, the string name, this is a parameter. Name is a parameter to this method. Name is a parameter to say hello method, right? This is a parameter. And if I look at string message, this one, this message is actually, it is called instance variable. Instance variable means when I create an object for this, now look at this class. If I create one more variable, say hello message 1, sorry, not this one, the object creation. Say if I create hello world 1, and then maybe you can create one more object. Okay. So for each object, there will be one variable created in the memory. For each object, if I declare variables at class level, at the class in the top, okay, I mean you can declare the variable anywhere actually. Some people have habit of declaring at the bottom of the class. Still works. But I prefer that you declare all your variables in the top of the class, okay, in the top of the class, and then write your methods. And if you are I mean that's a notation that I follow. Okay, so when I create object for the class, and remember if I need to call any method, of this class, mandatorily I need to create an object for it, then only I can call. Now look at this one. If I don't create this method, if I call directly, if I try to call it without creating an object, so it makes an error, cannot make a static reference to the non-static method say hello. I'll discuss about the static one later, but what I want to tell you is that it is not possible to call a method. Directly. So if I have to explain, what you need to know is that this particular line is very, very important. Public static void main. If you ever worked with any other, some programming language like C or C++, there is always something called main method, main function. Okay, that is the starting point. So in Java also, you have the starting point, that is main. This is a hard-coded string. Your method, if I say that, public static void main and then string arguments. See here, string, this is actually an array of args. And I'll explain that one as well, meaning if your program has to take explicit parameters, then this can be used. But otherwise, public static void main is the entry point to your application. And within this method, I can write, if you are writing simple lines, you can write, but if you want to call a method on the class of the same class or some other class, what I need to do is create an object. See, hello world HW equal to new hello world. And then I am calling the method hello HW dot say hello. So we always need to do this. There is no other way you can call the methods. Okay. So when we are doing this, so there are a couple of things. I'm trying to explain the main method. Main method is the entry point for your application. So, and one more thing, many times I saw people doing mistakes like, writing directly logic, say suppose if I have, if MSG, people keep writing code directly, and this shows error, some funny error here, syntax error. Okay, so you should never write any logic within the class directly. Always you need to write method, and then within the method you need to write logic. Remember this. See here, within the class, you can declare variables. Within a class, you can declare variables, and you can write methods. But I cannot just like that. I cannot write any other line. You cannot run any, I mean, there are, we will look at, while for all those things, but you should never write any logic here, and that throws compilation error. Okay. Simple logic is that class can have either variables or methods. And if you have only one class, and having methods in it, and you want to call those methods, then you must be having a main method, public static void main string array, and you create an object for it, and then on top of the object call the method. Okay, is this clear?
I'm not sure.
Can we define a method inside a method, Hari?
Sorry,
Can we define a method inside a method?
you cannot define a method inside a method.
Okay, so under main I cannot define any method.
And within the main you cannot
Main-
define a method. Within a main you cannot define a method.
Okay. And also this system out println, this is this thing. Can I write it under any other method other than void main?
You can write anywhere. You can write
Under
anywhere.
any other method?
Yeah. You can write anywhere.
Because I was trying yesterday, right, printing something under another method. I got maybe that's something else.
No. You can pretty much try that. No, it works. But you might have written that within within a method. As long as you are writing within a method, it will work.
Okay.
Let me show you that. Within a method, see here. I got that output, right?
Yeah.
It works. Okay.
So what is the? Can you please explain this line system dot out dot println? Like what is this dot out and println?
Yeah. I'll explain that. But I think this actually will. And my intention was to cover this particular thing little later, but I can explain that.
Okay.
So similarly, as you have, your public static void main method, I'll talk about the static one. Okay, what that really means. Okay, when I talk about the static keywords, I think that time I'll explain. But otherwise, briefly, system is a class. If you don't understand this, maybe you can discard. System is a class that has a variable, static variable called out, that represents an output stream object, and that output stream has a method called println, which takes a
Okay.
string parameter. System is a class. Look at this, java.lang.system. It is actually, like, I have not talked about packages, but there is a package called java.lang that has a class called system, and that has an output stream. Actually, print stream is an output stream. This is a print stream object, an object, and it is a static object. See, look at the declaration. Public static final print stream out. Within the class, it is this variable is declared, and that has a method called println. So we are calling this in a static way. I'll discuss about this again.
Okay.
Okay, but that's a brief. Brett, you said you did not understand, right? Which one you did not get?
No, I'm just trying to grasp a hold of everything right now.
Okay,
Just keep going.
okay, sure. So the class structure is, you write a class, and remember a class definition, it is always like, public class hello world. You may skip the public keyword in some places. We will look at that, when we discuss about inner classes. The class keyword is very, very important, and then followed by a name. That is also very, very important. And when you're talking about naming, okay, so then comes, but before that, let me wrap this up, the variable types. you have something called a variable at a class level. This MSG is a class level variable that is called instance variable in Java. Instance variable. Okay. So if I create one object here HW, and then if I create HW1, if I create one more object HW2, now each object will have one MSG variable declared. So now how many variables might be in the memory now if I run this program?
2.
3. 3, because I have
Oh.
one object here, 2 more objects here. Total 3 objects, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there will be 3 messages, MSG objects, variables will be initialized in the memory, one each for each of the object. So because the naming is that, class and object. If I look at, hello world, that is a class name, and HW is an object, or also we call that as an instance. So it is also called as an instance variable. Okay. Now there is another thing. Because I'm talking about it, I'll private static. Sorry, it should be small letters. I need to specify type as well. Okay, and also what I'll do is I'll I declared another variable called count. Look at this count. But I mentioned that as another keyword static. If I don't have this, then it looks like, MSG. But now I have one more extra thing called static. When I declare a variable with a keyword static, they are called class level variables. Class level variables meaning a class variable is any field with a static modifier. This tells the compiler that there is exactly only one copy of this variable in existence, regardless of how many times this class has been instantiated. This object, now I am creating 3 times, right? But the static keyword, when I use a static variable, keyword for a variable, what happens is there will be only one variable declared or one variable initialized. The same variable will be used by any other object. If I create 3 objects, still there will be one shared variable that will be used by three objects. Essentially, if this class is loaded into the memory, Java, when you run this program, this class will be loaded into the memory, and that time there will be this variable will be initialized, and that variable will be there. Once it is initialized, it will be there. If I create 3 objects or 100 objects or 1000 objects, there will be the static variable will be only one. We will look at that even more in detail, but and I'll actually show you. I try to increase this value, and let me write a method. Public void show.
Now, will this do anything if you run it right now?
Right now it will not. Okay, it will not do anything because it will do something, but we will not see the output.
Okay.
See, it will actually will declare. There is a count variable. How many objects I am creating? It is actually storing that count.
Okay.
But I am not printing anywhere. That is what I was trying to show. when I'm typing, within the when I'm strings, you can use the plus operator to concatenate messages, because here I have some hard-coded message, number of objects created so far, and then I want to append the count value. I want to append the count value. So I used a plus operator here. Now I can so I'm using this. Let me number of objects created so far, it says 0, and why? Why is that so? This is interesting. Now it's showing correct count, but why is that count plus plus? Okay, I think I should not leave space there. No. Okay, I'll not confuse you, but sorry.
Too late.
So this is a single variable. Now what I really want to say is that I'm actually storing, this count variable. If say suppose if this variable is, say suppose, let me remove this. Let me remove this. Let me remove the static one. And now when I look at this, the output will be number of objects created so far is 1, because this is a object level variable and I am incrementing within this method. This special method is called constructor. I'll talk about it later. But the count variable, now it is similar to MSG now when I don't use static. So when I don't use static, what exactly happens is each object is going to have one variable. Each object is going to have one variable similar to MSG. So if I create 3 objects, then there will be 3 count variables initialized. But when I use the static keyword, same object is, there will be single variable, so the count is incremented properly 3 times. There will be many cases where you might want to have static variables. Okay, so they are called class level variables. Now we looked at instance variables, we looked at class level variables, then there is something called local variables. Now let me look at this particular variable. Now I have something called public string say hello as a method, and within the method what I'm trying to do is I declared a variable called a result, and this result variable, this is within the scope of this same method, say hello method. And let me try to use, oops, no, it's talking about something else, but such as now I must, sometimes Eclipse does something that we don't expect. You cannot actually access it. This particular thing is a declared. It shows an error. That's because this variable result is only declared within a method called say hello. So whenever I try to run the say hello method, it will be executed once. So if I declare now, I am calling this 1, 2, 3, 4 on the same object. See this, HW is one object that I initialized here, hello world object, and I am calling say hello method 4 times. Now when I call this 4 times, this variable is initialized 4 times. This is declared, this execution happens 4 different times, so on the same object. So there will be 4 result variables will be created in the memory. Whereas if you look at MSG variable, that is a class level variable. So even though I am calling this method 4 times, there will be single MSG per object. So this is about local variables. Local variables are the variables that are declared and used within specific methods. Their scope is only limited to that particular method. So the moment you call this method, when the execution comes here, a variable is declared, and then whatever logic you are executing, and the moment your last statement executes, then the memory will be cleaned, and the variable scope, the life of that variable is done. It ends there. So that's about the variables. Now there is something called naming. We looked at that, I cannot have a variable, say suppose if or while or for. Okay, a variable can be a combination of letters and digits. By letter I mean alphabets, and also it should mandatorily begin with a letter or a dollar symbol or an underscore. It can begin with a letter or dollar symbol or an underscore. Private int, say suppose to count. Let me say this, and it doesn't it doesn't accept if I try to start with a number. Okay, but if I start with a dollar, it accepts, or it's an underscore, it accepts, and plain count is already there. But it is strongly recommended not to use the dollar symbol, though it is legal. Let us not use. And sometimes people do use underscore. I mean to specify that is a class level variable or member variable, but I try to avoid using underscore or dollar symbol. Okay, and it should always start with an alphabet, and then it can have numbers later. This is a valid variable, but always the variable should give a meaningful name. Always variable should give a meaningful name, even if it means that if you adding few extra characters. Probably like instead of count, I could have named this as just a C, but in the future when you go back and look at the code, you will not understand what this C could be. So if I make this as a count, then by reading at the variable name, I see that I sense that okay, this is for counting something. You will understand that. Okay, so variable name should be proper. Okay, and they should only begin with a letter, not with any digit, and technically it is possible that it can be started with a letter, with a dollar symbol and an underscore character. And you cannot have spaces in a variable name. I cannot have I cannot say that this is my variable. It will not work. But I can say this is a variable, proper variable, count of object. I can write like this. If you need to extend it, if you feel that okay, I want to write as a multi-word sentence or multi-word variable, in that case you can pretty much do that. But you cannot give any space. I mean, space and this is not acceptable. And generally you can use spaces. I can give space, it doesn't matter. Java discards those spaces. It's only for formatting purpose you can leave sufficient spaces wherever you feel like giving. But otherwise, variable names, if within the variable name I cannot have space, I cannot consider this as a single variable. Okay. Now also, when we are discussing about naming, another important aspect is that the class names, look at this one. Class names always should begin with a capital letter, capital case, okay, uppercase. So And if it is a multi-word, say in this case hello and world, there are two different words. So each word of the class name should start with capital letter, uppercase letter. H is, see here, H is an uppercase and W is in another uppercase, right? Another uppercase character. Remember, again here also you cannot have spaces. It throws error. Okay?
You cannot have spaces,
You
right?
cannot have. Yeah, you cannot
Yeah.
have. You cannot have.
Only in the quotes.
Yeah. Okay. So in case of class names, always remember this. I can pretty much write, any other, say suppose hello world. I can write this. This is technically correct. This is technically correct. There is an error because I am using this variable in the bottom. So the error now, and also that it should be the file. Okay, there are multiple things. One is that the same name should be the file name. Look at this. It is named as helloworld.java. This name, file name, and here the class name, they should match. Even it is a public class, they should be same. But as long as if I make this as a hello world, and if I write this, and then I can fix the variable name. Now this error is gone. See here, there was an error earlier, and that error is not there. This is technically, this is correct, and there are still some errors because I used that other name here. So I'm going to revert it in a moment. But this is technically correct, but still we will not write any code like that. We will always write code where the first character is of uppercase. And I can fix that, when I find error like this, I can fix. You just click on this red icon here and look at the message as well. The public type hello world must be defined in its own file, and the file should be the same thing. Okay, when the naming should be same, the file name and the class name should be same. So the class name always begins with a capital letter, and if it is a multi-word name like hello world, then the first character of every word will be in the uppercase. Okay, now that is only for the, this first character is also uppercase, and then subsequent every word will begin with an uppercase. Now if you look at the variables, or the methods, say hello, here we start with a lowercase letter. But if you think that you need multi-word variable name or method name, then subsequent word first character will be uppercase. Now say hello, you look at this. Yes, begins with a lowercase, but hello, H is capital, uppercase letter. So
why is that though? Why does that have to be?
Sorry?
Why does that? Why does the H have to be capitalized there? And say hello.
Yeah. No,
Why?
Why? Okay. Yeah. This is again, notation followed. Just a notation followed. You can actually even write small letter. It works.
Okay.
It doesn't show any error here, but it is just a notation that when I'm looking at this particular code, say suppose here, if it begins with capital letter, okay, that means it could be a class name. It is a class name. Okay. And now when I'm calling this method here, and it says say hello, it starts with a small letter. That means okay, this could be a method name. Okay. And also the variable name here, say look at this, it starts with a small letter. So suppose by chance if I have this variable, or maybe suppose if I use this variable somewhere, let me go. Okay, Now I don't know where that variable, how the variable is declared. Okay, sorry, name. If I use name equal to test, okay. Now by looking at this name, what I would figure out is that, okay, this could be a variable because it starts with a small letter. It is a variable, okay.
Okay.
Just the notation, okay. This is how we, but you should, from the beginning, yes, we should question why it is so, and when you know the answer, we should practice it that way only. Because from the beginning, if you learn in the correct way, you will not have any problems later. Is this clear? So class name and variable or method names, there are two different patterns how we name the variables. Class name always begins with a uppercase letter, and if it is a multi-word name, then every word will start with a uppercase character followed by rest of them in the lowercase. In case of method or variable, it should always start with a lowercase character, and then if it is a multi-word, then every subsequent word will begin with uppercase character. Clear?
Yeah.
Perfect. This is a small rule, but please remember this always, and always write your classes like this. Okay, and it is very easy to write a class like, say something like, small a. You just write class variable called small a, and you can fix this error. I can change the constructor and the file name to a.java, and I can remove all the errors, compilation errors, and make my program work. You can do that, but one important thing about programming is that, as much as if I am writing this code say in 5 minutes and with a lot of easy, I feel that, okay, writing this code is very simple. If someone else is reading my code, he should feel the same comfort. If I write code for 5 minutes and if other guy is spending for say 2-3 hours and trying to understand it, decipher it, decrypt that encrypted message, it should not be like an encrypted message. Okay, so it should, whatever I'm trying to write, convey that my class, my logic, whatever is my message, other person should be able to read that, get that message from by reading at the code within the same or less time. Okay, I can make it enough complex where it is understood only by me, but by no one else. But that is something that we should be avoiding most of the cases or all the cases, only when you are really writing, you have some great, maybe you have some great idea and you want to patent it. You don't want anyone else to understand the logic, but you want to write your logic into some class and execute it and distribute it to the world. Then you can make it enough complex. Okay, but generally, always remember that, if I write some code and give it to my friend or colleague, whether he is going to understand this logic. Okay, so the naming should be proper always, not from your perspective. Just think how, if I give this to someone else, how is he going to receive this code, whether he is going to understand this code or not. So we should always have that intuition in mind when writing code.
Well, is that like the opposite, like HTML? If you look at other people's code, sometimes they want to change it so you don't understand it. Is this like the opposite? You want people to understand it?
Right. Yeah, it's, the purpose when you are HTML is that, especially HTML and in JavaScript, sometimes people try to make it complex so that others don't understand.
Yes, I can't copy.
Yeah, that's actually like, suppose if, the code, there, HTML is more an interpreted language, you will not compile. Browser directly renders it. So anyone can see my code and try to copy that code. In case of Java, people will not, when I run, Java based website, people will not see the code. there is no way directly people see your Java code because it gets
Okay.
compiled and executed. Now there is a difference. Yeah, you can consider that it is kind of opposite for that HTML stuff.
Gotcha.
Okay, but there will be scenarios where you want to create enough complexity in the source code that no one will understand. There will be requirements. Okay, you build a complex product and there is some important logic that you don't want anyone else in the world to understand it. Then you try to mess up with the code. Code should work, but it should not be readable. I declare a variable A and a class name A, variable A, and then another A1, B1, A. I mean, I try to change everything. Just think of this being A2 and class name is A and a variable A1, A2. People will not understand by just looking at the code.
You want to patent it for yourself.
Yeah, right, exactly. So that will be required in some cases, and actually there are in Java this problem is there even for .NET. See, one problem is I'll maybe it may be too early for you to understand, but still let me explain. I have this file, right? Hello world.class. It is possible that there are decompilers available, and these decompilers, I may be having one. So Java decompilers are available where I give this file and it will actually generate the source code for it.
Okay.
Okay. So, I mean, if your code is simple, people will generate it back and understand the logic. So, there is a process called obfuscation. It may be obfuscation where actually I write regular code in an understandable way, but I run some other tool. I use some tool and give the source code, and that tool will read the code and it will change everything into some complex format where it will not be readable. So that process is called obfuscation. Don't worry about it for now, but there are various tools are there. It is too early, I believe so, but it is always good to know when you have a context, and it's good to know that there is something like that exists.
Is that the code that sometimes you'll see? It almost looks like hieroglyphics or Chinese.
No. It will not look like Chinese.
No? Okay.
It will be still English. But as I mentioned, it will change. Suppose if change it to A, and say suppose this also A, and and then change this to this anyway A, and this one say suppose A. Okay, and everything it will change like this.
Okay.
When I mean count maybe A1. So what happens is that you will not understand what A could be and something like that.
Exactly.
So that is about variables and how the naming, and now we looked at Java language keywords and variables. We looked at instance variables are the variables that are declared in the class level. Okay, and then the class variables are the variables that are declared as with another keyword called static. Local variables are the variables that are declared within a method. The scope is when you call the method, then only that variable will be initialized, and the moment method execution is over, then that variable life is done. Okay, and then parameters is methods will have parameters. In this case, we looked at this. Methods will have parameters. Okay, so I think for today I'll say that this may be sufficient for us. So I'll share this source code to you, and going forward maybe this week I'll also introduce something called SVN, subversioning system, where we all can check in our code there and you can get the latest from the repository. So we will use a common repository. I prefer Google Code. Google Code is a repository. I can show you some of my existing stuff. Code dot yeah. So you will have your source code. You can actually pretty much, you should be able to get the source code from this location. src demo. So now here I can pretty much look at the source code. So I'll do something of this sort, and you should be able to get the, I'll introduce this particular concept later. Okay. So for today, please review this particular thing. I gave you the links as well, the material. There is nothing great about, material, but what is really required is you need to understand you need to understand the logic, what it really means, and you need to apply to your programs. You need to understand, create a variable at the class level, create a static variable, and create a variable within a method, and see the behavior. You need to understand that particular behavior, and also try breaking the rules, the naming thing. You try to start with a number, try to start with, maybe plus or minus symbol or equal symbol or an asterisk or an ampersand in the keyboard, and it will throw error. And that's the best way, to verify or to learn something. When you see that, okay, compiler is not letting me to start a variable with an asterisk or an equal symbol or a bracket character, you will understand why. You will understand why it is working like that, because Java does not support variables of starting with any other character. You cannot even have those characters in a variable name. Let me see. Private int, say count 1 is legal, but I cannot have a plus character here.
Oh, I thought it was just start with. You couldn't have it.
No, I mean
there at all.
yes. So these things you please verify by yourself. It can always have, an unlimited length of sequence of Unicode letters and digits. It could be, there is no limit in terms of how many characters this word or variable name can contain. It can be as big as you want, but it should begin with a letter, dollar, or an underscore. But other than that, underscore is an allowed variable. Underscore can be there, you can use in the middle as well. This is fine. Let me see. I think even it should allow me dollar as well. It allows a dollar, but try to type double equal to equals, and it doesn't allow. It shows an error, right? And use a bracket, it doesn't allow, right? So this is something that you should, do this and explore yourself. See how, why, or what is that, probable allowed characters, and how the text is mentioned there. Here I gave you the links, or I'll send that anyway in the email. Okay, so you need to please figure this out, and tomorrow what we will see is that we will look at primitive data types. You can actually even try to look at this particular thing when you are exploring. You can explore this, and what are the basic data types you have. Then operators, we will look at this operators, and what else we have. We will go to the control flow. We will actually go to, there is another thing called control flow. We will look at that particular thing. The if, for, while, we'll see. It will be good if we can wrap it up tomorrow, but otherwise we'll see, right? But going forward, in the beginning it looks simple, maybe that it looks like as if you know these things, but please pay attention. I always request your dedication. So please listen properly, and then try to question me why this is so, and then apply that yourself. Do program on your own and try to see. If you have any problems, get back to me. That is the best way of learning. And simple things, though it looks like simple things, if you don't practice it, for tomorrow it might create problem. You may not understand
Doesn't look like
that.
simple things.
Sorry?
I said it doesn't look like simple things yet.
Okay. So then that really means that you need to practice more. You need to practice more. And please come back to me with questions, okay? Please practice and come back to me with questions. I'll share the links, what you need to refer, and use this tool, Eclipse. Please use this Eclipse, okay? Because if you are trying to learn with Notepad or your text pad, then you will have so many errors, and it will be difficult for you to understand those errors and fix them. The learning will be slow. So I request you to use the Eclipse tool. And Brett, did you fix your error? You said you will try to download the 32-bit.
Today I actually, I guess when you load Eclipse the first time, it takes a while for it to run all its actions that it needs to do. It took like 10 minutes, but I think I downloaded it twice. So when I opened it up in class, that's why it took so long.
Okay. Fine.
And then I watched your YouTube video today, and I was able to go back and do everything we did yesterday with no problem.
Okay, fine. Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
All right. I think I might have bad dreams, though.
Okay. Right.
All right. Good night.
Yeah. Bye.